Hi, this is Kim Pinkney and welcome to my channel. Alrighty, so I am continuing to work on Chapter 2 of Nocturnal Emissions. Chapter 1 is up. If you could, just pop on into Webtoons and, take a peek. Leave me a comment or two, good or bad or ugly or indifferent. And that'll help me with this contest. I'd really appreciate your help. And I'm supposed to be responding to everything that pops up on that thing. So I've been looking at it, and very few people have looked at it, and it's kind of disheartening when you have all this other stuff. But that's what happens when you don't have a completed project. So let me get to it. Alright, so I figured out how to preview my stuff on here. So you go to your gallery and you kind of like do a finger swipe to make things get bigger, and then you can scroll through and see what you've got. So this is going to be a quick way of looking at the comic, or at least for me to review and get it organized. So Nocturnal Emissions, and you can also do a search Nocturnal Emissions on Webtoons and I'll pop right on up. Nobody else is talking about wet dreams like me. Haha. Haha. I say haha. Anyway, going forward, and I'll see if I can do a quick read through, and maybe that'll help me to kind of hear what sucks, and then looking at it again helps me to see what I need to fix. So it's like, and this is almost how it's going to appear on the site, only it scrolls instead of, side swipe. So I never noticed that giving nightmares to others changed me. Hey, woman screaming. Shudder, shudder. Oh my god, it felt so real. Yeah, please go back to sleep. Compassion took a back seat to a peaceful night's sleep for me. I started to see the sharing of these nightmares as a necessary evil. I mean, these aren't really my nightmares, but my clients. At the time, I believed the only thing worse than losing my humanity was this one realization. I can never sleep alone. Oh my god. It's like, oh my god. It's like, wait, why did I have the nightmare? Looks to the side. Oh, she's gone. What time is it? 11:30. Shit. 11:31. It's not too late to get another one, right? So we're heading to Oddballs. I've never seen this place so dead, but it is a Tuesday. Damn. I've got 5 huge clients to close tomorrow and freaking Rachel to deal with. There's no way I can do it on 2 hours sleep. It's like, tell me that isn't who I think it is. And it's like, it just goes to show you can't teach an old pimp new tricks. It's like, Bryce, you still hug like a bitch, D, and you still smell like one, B. And then now I'm going to start going into this right here. Right here it's like, and my new, oh yeah, so I'm going to have to swap this somehow. 2, we're celebrating my bud's grad, so he graduated from FBI training or whatever. He says, and my new baby. He's like, yeah, I'm going to have to switch these because reading it's going to be awkward. So I'm going to have to put one bubble above another. Or, let me see, I wonder if I can swap them. But the rest is all just my thumbnails. And I finally found some credentials for FBI. It was like a movie thing, so I went ahead and did that. Something looks fishy with it, so that's okay, I'll put a finger over it. So they're drinking, shows off the FBI badge. He fucks with them a little bit, says that his badge is all screwed up, and he gets his friend. And then we launch into what's going on with him. He's like, so how are you doing, as he's putting away his card, his credentials. You look like shit. And Derek just kind of coming down. It's like, kind of pauses. It's like, let me guess, you're still having those dreams. Like, yeah, it's why I'm here. Want to talk about it? No judgment, no judgment, remember? He's like, yeah. And it's like, you're the only one I can tell, Bryce. So, and Bryce is like, are you in trouble? And they're sitting in their little chairs. And I should like just do a little pause. But then again it says, like, maybe, yeah. And so he goes into it like, well, you of all people know that I rarely had problem meeting women. It wasn't always about sex. I mean, it was always a nice bonus, but like having fun, connecting, we got comfortable. I had a stable stream of priceless women. I would most romance them all, but it always ends up the same way. And in like a mess, a hot mess, very hot mess. And then I want him to talk about, but for every woman that I had take on the nightmares, for everybody I shared it with, from my clients, I had closed 6 figures, if more, or more. To the point where I can't do this without them. So you tell me, am I in trouble? So now I also wanted to kind of, and this is going to close I think this will close this will close it, and then I'll have the ending. And then when you want to get out of this mode, you just hit that cross. So I'm going to move this after the montage of women, and then like you tell me if I'm in trouble. And then part 3 will lead into the club. I've got up to 5 chapters that I can do without getting into, going outside the thingy here. So hopefully this kind of helps build up the interest, and then I just have to get into this. I can't wait to get into chapter 3 and 4 or 5, where all the shit just like comes down, like karma just like slams the shit out of this man. So let me go ahead and keep on going, keep on checking, and then figure out what's going on with my thought balloons. Now I'm wondering if I can do this. I'm going to try to swap the images so that I can make it work. But then again, it may swap where they are sitting, and I want him to be on this side where he's sitting now. Let me see, because I don't want the conversation to be too jarring as well. Let's see, make sure everything is straight, and I think that should only mess with that. Yeah. So let's see. This. I don't think I can swap it that way. Let me try it this way. Let me grab it like that, and then flip horizontal. Nah, I don't think it works the same. Okay, so let's swap it back. Okay. So, thought balloons. Let me get those out the way first before I start doing anything else. That'll be my thought balloon for that. Now I might need to make these guys smaller, so let's do that. If I put that over here, keep a little off center. Okay, and I'll color the balloons so that we can see them a little bit better. Get back to here. We'll make, oops. We'll make an ellipse. So we got one, and let's see, this will be Bryce's. They'll have to be between them. Let's see, and then we'll just duplicate this one. And we'll give it this tone. Trying to figure out how to make this work. Let's see, I can do. Now I can probably change the image too, to where he's actually hailing the bartender, but it's got to be above his because his words are going to be afterwards. So let's see how this works. Let's see. Make that small. Let's see. Edit style. Need to be smaller text. I should have like a bartender saying, "Can I help you, gentlemen?" But they got to be looking at somebody. I might have to change it. Let's see. I don't know if that's, let's see, we'll say, I don't know. There's a graduation to be celebrated. I could do a smaller panel with the bartender because it just looks awkward not having, you know, them just saying, "Two, please." Let's see, and then we'll add more text. I hate that it defaults to this massive size. Two, please. Let's see, I'm wondering if I should have let's do another. Let's see. me try something here. I'm gonna add the bartender, so it doesn't. It's not too. I'm hoping it's not gonna be too awkward. I'm gonna merge these guys down. Let's see. All right. That way I can move the balloons pretty easily. There's something on here, and I have no idea what. Okay, let's see if we can figure out. That should clean it, you would think. Nope. Let me do this. I'm going to do something annoying. Let's see. Put that up. Anything above that should disappear. Yep. And then this one has that same problem. It automatically will cut it off. Yay! Okay, so we got that one there. Okay, so if they're looking in this direction, then I should put the bartender where that is. So let's slide these guys over. And we'll move this balloon. Yeah, I don't want to cover the artwork, so let's see. But just for the moment, put that there. Moved on you. There we go. We'll just make it a little smaller. Doesn't have to be massive, but it also has to be readable so that when people read it, they'll know to look left, right, you know. And then this one might need to overlap it just a bit. There we go. And we have room to slide these guys over one more time. There we go. So what I'll do is I'll put the bartender in this empty spot here. What are you having? What are you buying? Okay, so let's see, who should I put there? Who should our bartender be? Should I have it be male or female? All these decisions. I'm going to erase this right here. Alright, make sure there's nothing on these guys. And while I'm deciding, I'm just going to go ahead and keep pushing on. Stop. Zoom up. Let's see. We'll give it. Do I want to give it a circle? Yeah. It'll be rectangle. And we'll have I wonder, should I freehand it? No, let's do this. Let's try this brush and see if it's worth a damn. It's not big enough. Oh, you know, I think there's something wrong with the layer. Let's see. Yeah, it is. Let's put that. We'll put it up above or something. There we go. Oops. We'll distort this. Maybe a regular square would probably suffice. Because it looks like part of a wall. Let's see. Let's do this. Let's just keep the bartender here. Let's see. We'll do this from like the bartender's over the shoulder shot. That way I probably don't have to do too much detail. I got an idea. I've been wanting to put the logo on one of the workers if I ever showed a worker. Okay, so this is oddballs, and I'm trying to think, what would make this guy, ooh, yeah, let's give him a mohawk. With an 8-ball on it. It's like kind of shaved into his head or something like that. Hey, Tatted Hearts, what's up? And we can give him a tattoo or something. Okay, so let's get the oddball symbol here. Go to gallery. It's right here. And like a dumb bunny, I didn't save it anywhere else. So now I'm going to probably have to redraw it again. Kimberly. Failed me for the last time. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let's see if it'll let me select. Oops. trying to do that three-finger swipe with the thing in my hand. And I see I already have like some sort of ghost image here. There we go. No, it won't let me do it. Okay, I have to select it. Let's get closer. Do I want to take the whole thing? Wait a minute, there's a little flag here too. Nah. Okay. Clear. And then three-finger swipe, copy, and then back into the gallery. Who you telling? I just looked up my weight. I'm lighter than I was a few years ago by about 20 pounds, but I want to lose another 100 if I can. But I love cake. What can I do? Let's see, and paste. Bring it down. And we'll bring it about here. We'll make it, he'll wear a t-shirt instead of a vest. There we go. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. And mask. There we go. So it'll take me a sec. I need black. Make sure that's very black. There we go. Let's see, we don't need this. It doesn't have to be perfect, I guess. Oh, okay, that's awesome that you're losing weight, though. We'll leave it to say that I'm much fatter than you are, and I am about the same height. It's from years of drinking very, very sweet coffee and sitting on my ass at work. Very sedentary job. You only have to lose skin if you do it too fast. If you do it the right way with exercise and diet, um, and you do it gradually, your skin will adjust. But if you do it too fast, like say you got the, what is it called, like that um, gastric bypass or something like that, you'll become a Shar-Pei, and that in itself has its own problems. You got to get rid of that skin. My dad had the gastric bypass, and he had like all this damn skin, and if you, it was like rubbing against itself. It was just bad, and it was developing sores, and it's got problems. You got to get rid of it. The only other way is, yeah, if you do the gradual diet and exercise, your body will adjust. But when you do it too fast, oh, bad news, bad news. Oh, hell. I don't want a standing desk. I earned my fat ass. Nah, I don't want a standing desk. I've seen them. I could probably. I don't want a standing desk. I like sitting down. I like to rest my fat. I had a job where I had to stand up the entire time, and I hated it. Oh my God, I hated it with a passion. My feet hurt. I'm not built for standing all that time for 8 hours straight. And I'm a real big wussy when it comes to my feet. There we go, good enough for government work. And then we'll have it kind of warp a bit so it fits its back. And then we'll put like an OB on it or something like that. Add text. Let's see, I can't remember what was either that one. There it is. Should call it staff. There we go. And we'll bring that down further. Maybe make it smaller. Yeah, my doctor mailed me a scale. So I just found out today how heavy I am, and it just like sucks. Sucks. Yeah. The only problem that really you have when you're older is I think it's a more of an older thing. I could be wrong. I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV. No. Um, but I've noticed that when people lose weight slowly, they don't look like they need to get like when I was in the Navy and I lost weight when I was young. I didn't have to have any kind of special operation or anything like that. And then, like, even after I had kids, your body will go back to its size if you know, diet and exercise. Um, but when but if you do it too fast, the body, it takes too long, and you just need to be careful about infections and stuff like that. My dad is older. He's in his, what, let's see, 40, he's 60. I think he's in his 60s. So, you know, he had to get, you know, because he did that, the gastric bypass and lost it, like, super fast. And everybody who does that looks like a Shar-Pei. Yeah, just don't do it too fast. Just do it gradual with diet, exercise. Don't, like, if you get the gastric, because the gastric bypass, you're losing like 100 pounds almost a month, depending on how you're doing it. You know what you're doing, because you're pretty much on liquids. You know, you eat very little solids. And then even after that, you know, your body is like, it's eating the fat if you're doing the diet right. But your skin will retract, you know, but you got to do it, you know, gradually, normally, you know, not all at once. You know, and then muscle will take the place of some fat. Let's see, and then we'll make this like into a Afro 8-ball or something like that. Who knows what these celebrities, with the trainers and stuff like that, they can afford that kind of shit. They'll, you know, because they can afford to have somebody arrange a diet for them, make them go through all kinds of stuff. You can't compare yourself to a celebrity. You just can't. They've got more resources than we do. Yeah, of course it is. You're young. You can get away with that. Like when I was in the military, people would come in fat, and your body tightens up. You know, skin tightens up and stuff. We gotta get this guy. Got some craziness here on him. I want to put those, like, what is it called? Like those little circle earrings on him, but you can't see it at this angle. Yeah, I don't see why doing, you know, 10 pounds a month is not bad. You don't want anything that's gonna, like, you know, and you should always, you know, make sure that it's okay with a doctor. You're in, you know, or, you know, use common sense. It's like, You don't want to go on the druggy diet because that's another way of losing too much too soon and a whole other host of problems. Um, you don't want to do the vomiting thing. That's really bad. You just want to make sure that you get all the nutrients that your body needs and you get the exercise and it's good for your heart. But, lose weight to feel good, not to impress anybody. Bump that shit. Like one of the ways that I was losing weight was I would go to a club and I would just dance all night long because I just had fun doing that. Let me bring that down this way. Yeah, so I would go to the club at like maybe 8 o'clock. It wasn't good for me because I had kids, or had a kid at that time. But that's one of the ways that I stayed in shape was that I danced. I just had fun at a club. I'd have like one drink and I'd drink that all night long. Nurse it if I didn't feel like dancing. I wouldn't have more than two because I would have to drive myself home. So I would have one drink in the night and then maybe have sodas the rest of the time. And I would just pretty much dance. And if I got lucky and got to take home a kill, cool. But nowadays you got to be like super, super duper, duper, duper careful. But yeah, do things that you like. One of my friends over the summer, or a schoolmate rather, he wasn't a friend really. Over the summer, before school was out, he was fat. Oh boy, was frickin' fat. And then over the summer, he played basketball. All summer long, he played basketball. And by the time he got back to school, oh boy was looking damn good. He lost a shit ton of weight. He didn't even look like the same person. He lost that much weight. He looked hot. So, being young, if you cut out sodas, and just, eat normal food, guys can lose weight quick. Women, it takes so much longer. It's so hard. We cut out sodas, we gain weight. Men cut out sodas, they lose 10 pounds. Yeah, there's that too. But there's also heredity too. Some people are just naturally big boned. If you can, try to get in the aerobics as well as, getting your heart pumping and stuff, as well as doing some weights. That gives you the muscle tone. Drink, make sure you have enough calcium and stuff like that for your bones. Eat enough meat. Do something that you can sustain. Fad diets. Like one of my friends, he lost a shit ton of weight doing that keto diet, but he had, what's it called? What is it called? I forgot what he had. And he didn't have to go and get he didn't have to have surgery or anything like that. But it's a hard diet to maintain. It's a lot of meat, and you gotta be very careful because it's easy to jump out of that keto. But it's supposed to be, I don't know, it's still up in the air about how it should be. I should put no, he didn't have to lose skin, and he was my age, but he looked good. He lost a good ton of weight, and it happened pretty gradually. It wasn't like doing the Shar-Pei diet, not the gastric bypass. He didn't do that. The other guy, the school friend, this was back in elementary school, I want to say, like 6th grade. He lost a lot of weight then. Now, my friend that I worked with, he got on the keto diet, but it's really easy to get out of keto because what you're doing is you're trying to make your body, God, what was it? Eat the fat instead of sugar. So like you're not eating breads, you're feeding your body fat, and it's burning the fat. But I like my breads. I like my carbs. Even though now I have to watch the carbs, but I have to make these choices. I found out because of my weight, I'm diabetic. I'm a type 2 diabetic. So I have to make sure that I'm not taking in more sugar or things that can turn into sugar because my body's not processing carbohydrates properly. So I have to take medication so that it will process the carbohydrates. And I pee a lot. I get the jitters when I'm hungry. And it's got its own like set of whatevers. Move the staff over. Actually, I don't think it does. I don't think keto makes you tired. Once you're in the keto thing, and it's different for everybody. It's burning. If you've got a lot of fat, it's taking the shit out of your fat. It's kicking the fat's ass. The only downside is you got to maintain that. You've got to make sure that you're eating what you're supposed to, and then staying away from the stuff that you can't eat, and then you can pop out of the keto thing. So if you're taking in more fat and you're not doing it right, you're just going to get fatter. It's such a confusing diet. I don't get it. So right now I'm being extremely naughty with my diet. I'm actually not as bad as I think I am, because it's like before I would like buy a cake and eat it too, not all at one sitting, but it's like at every single meal I would have a big ass slice of cake or whatever I felt like. And now I am if I do buy cake, because they tell us in the when I went to a training about type 2 diabetes, it's like if you try to deny yourself stuff, you're just going to be like obsessing over it. Like they said, the dietitian had said something like, don't deny yourself, but you have to keep an eye on yourself. So like, if I want a cookie, you got to be conscious of what kind of cookie you're throwing in your mouth. If it's got over a certain amount of carbs, it's going to turn into sugar, and it's going to turn your blood into goo, and it's going to take your damn it's going to eventually, if you keep that up, it's going to take your damn toes. So, because it's like it messes with your circulation to the rest of your body, and you're not absorbing what you need to get by. Yeah, but also keep in mind that different people, it all depends on your body and your body type. It's best to talk to a doctor or a dietitian about these things. But just to use some common sense and going by how you feel more than what someone's guidelines are. You know, like if you're doing it on your own, you know, just make sure you're doing it safely, make sure you're getting vitamins and minerals and things like that, and you're getting your exercise and you're not overdoing it. You're not, if you're in pain, you know, and that's the body's way of telling you, you know, maybe you're doing just a little too much. You know, just kind of listen to your body, see how you feel. But if you're losing 10 pounds a month and you feel pretty goddamn good, go for it. Keep doing it. But if it's tearing up your esophagus, you just don't want to do those crazy, you know, yo-yo diets and stuff where it can really cause you a lot of trouble in the long run. Yeah, well, you live and you learn, you know? Just don't be too hard on yourself, you know? Yeah, well, that comes with age, you know, and lifestyle. Just try to stay as active as you can. You try to eat the right foods, even though that's kind of hard nowadays, because you'll hear all these conflicting reports that this is good for you, this is bad for you. Like somebody keeps saying something about tomatoes, and I'm like, what's wrong with tomatoes? Nobody's giving me a straight answer. But this one guy wants you to buy his shit to lose weight, you know, and you know, I'm leery at people who profit off of, you know, saying, oh, if you eat this, then you're gonna die, or you take my product and then you'll win. You know, it's like, yeah, I'm kind of leery at that. The only way that I found that I could lose weight is if I actually exercise and, you know, eat the right foods, get a good night's sleep. And that's what I pretty much did when I was a teenager. But now that I'm older, you know, I don't have that physical job anymore. When I was younger, I would run, I would dance. You know, I was a little bit more active than I am now. Plus I had like 3 goddamn kids. That didn't help my waistline. Or my boobs. Went from perky to saddlebags. Oh, they're heavy boobs. But you want to be comfortable, I think. Well, comfortable. If you start to feel like your weight is hurting you, then you definitely need to do something about it. But if you're doing it just for vanity's sake, I don't know. You gotta do you. But by all means, if you can, talk to a doctor. Make sure you're doing it right, so you're not, you know, your own worst enemy. But yeah, there was another YouTuber that was talking about fitness and stuff like that, and he's a, what do you call it, a vegetarian. So there's always that alternative. I like meat, but I only really eat chicken and chicken, fish, and every now and then pork. I don't usually eat beef, Like just recently I had like hamburger, but yeah, I don't eat a lot of meat. My thing is I'm a bad cake eater. I like my cake. So what I have to do is I would buy a slice of cake, and I would end up cutting it. Like you've seen those dino slabs of cake that they would sell at a store. I would end up cutting it in like fourths or fifths, and then having like part of that a day. So like I wouldn't be able to eat the entire thing at one sitting. It would knock me out. It literally the diabetes. Um, it's like before, like a when you're, the only way I can liken it to is like during the holidays when you have Thanksgiving and then you eat and want to fall asleep. Diabetes does that to me all the time. It makes me, if I eat too heavy, if I eat too much, anything with too much, that could turn into carbs. Too many carbs, too much of that, it knocks me out. It puts me to sleep. It'll knock me out for 3 hours, and then sometimes I'll wake up with a headache. And it's just that my body could not process that. Orange juice is too much. Like drinking sugary drinks, can't do it. Can't do it. It will knock me out. It will take me down. It's just too much glucose too fast. So I have to watch those levels. And I'm doing pretty good for a person with diabetes. I'm in the range of where I need to be. But I kept reading different stories about how the medication would stop working. It would stop regulating. So now that I've got a scale, it'll kind of subconsciously tell me not to, I'll start to not want certain things. And then I made this one joke, it'll take your toes. And I'll look at pictures of people who've lost their toes because they just can't let go of the diabetes. They don't want to behave. Let's see. Oh no, it's 120 pounds. Ooh, that's not healthy. You can't sleep your life away. Yeah, but there could be underlying health conditions too. That's why you should see a doctor. Like with me, when I was a teenage girl, I was anemic, where I didn't get enough iron in my blood, so that made me tired a lot. And because of that tiredness, I would eat sugar, which fucked up my teeth big time. I'm like, my teeth look like they social distanced. It's that bad. It's really, that's why I don't show myself on camera. My teeth are fucked. That's correct. But you can't lose it too fast. If you lose it too fast, you will need that help. But like I said, you need to talk to a doctor, talk to a professional. They'll tell you about the sagging skin. But when you exercise and stuff, your skin will start to tone up. But you gotta be gradual with it. You gotta be, you can't just, if you lose it too fast, it has no place to go. The body can't absorb it all that fast. And then it's just like saggy skin. You have more of an opportunity of absorbing it and tightening up when you're younger. When you're older, it's a little bit harder. But what are you worried about skin for anyway? You're young. You're gonna lose it in one way, shape, or form. Or at least, you know, that's what I'm thinking you will. I don't know. Plenty of people have lost weight and not had to have, like, operations to get skin removed. I don't know. That's what I keep trying to tell you. You need to talk to a professional. I am not a dietitian. I can't give you that kind of advice. I just don't know. The only thing I can speak to is my own body and my own experience. And when I was in the only time that I've lost like a massive amount of weight was when I was in the military. I had gone into the military and they exercised our ass every day, virtually 7 days a week for 45 minutes to an hour. And then we had the 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know, we couldn't go back for seconds. And we weren't given like a whole bunch of like sweetened snacks. And we exercised, we were stressed, and we weren't allowed to lay down. We weren't allowed to go, you know, like if we were, like on Sundays when you have your own free time, that's time for you to like worship and stuff like that. That's the only time really that we were alone for a few hours. And I think that might have been the only time we didn't have to exercise. It was like we got Sunday off. And we lost a shit ton of weight. Men lose weight faster than women. It could be, what is it called? The testosterone. That could be a part of it. I don't know. And also just the exercise. I don't know. You just got to do it. Do it and find out. And if saggy skin is a problem, then, you know, talk to a doctor, see what you can do. But I never had a problem with saggy skin when I was younger. Even after I had a kid, you know, women who have babies and stuff, especially the young ones. After my firstborn, you know, I was in good shape. I was 19 years old when I had my youngest, and I was in goddamn good shape. I was I had gotten out of boot camp, into my first duty station. Within a year, I was pregnant, and then, and I was in really good shape. You know, I was skinny, not skinny, but, you know, I was like 135 pounds, if anything. And I was in good shape. My body went back to normal. You know, my uterus, you know, my stomach had gotten big and stuff like that. I didn't have the saggy skin. I had it right after the baby came out, but the body tightens up and it goes away. So you can't look at them like that, though. That's the thing. You got to deal with you, and you got to accept who you are. It may not be easy, but, you know, there are people who mold their body. And there's ways to do it healthy, the healthy way. And just give yourself goals that are realistic. Work with somebody who knows what the hell they're talking about. That way you don't hurt yourself. Because you can lose a shit ton of weight, look really freaking awesome, and then something happens and it all comes back. Your, what is it called? Metabolism may slow down, and it all that hard work you did, could be down the tubes. Just make sure you do it right, is all I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know. All I see it as is dancing is it depends on what kind of dance you're doing. If you're doing like super aerobics and stuff like that, maybe it is building some muscle. It's not building up the muscle where it's your bodybuilding, where it's tearing shit apart and then, coming back together again. But it's good for the heart. It gets you moving, and you'll be drinking more water. Just dance, move. That's the key. Is it's got to move. It's not like you're doing Taibo or anything like that. That I think is more designed for like muscle and stuff like that. But yeah, either way, you'll build up that muscle tone as well as, good for your heart. You want to get that heart pumping at least, with the target heart rate of whatever is different for every age and stuff. You just got to do your own research, and you got to, talk to the professionals. I can't help you because I'm fat and dumpy with no teeth. Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, it makes sense. You're toning your muscles. You're moving faster and better. You're getting stronger. I mean, not like you can leap tall buildings in a single bound type of strong, but you're building up muscle tone and stuff. You're doing something more than just being a potato. What are your goals? What do you want? Do you want to be toned? Or do you want to be skinny? Like, do you want to look like this? Do you want to look like that? Or do you want to look, it's like, what are your goals? What do you want to look like? How do you want to feel? It depends on what you're trying to do. Like there's all these different other exercises that people do to, what is it called? Like the gladiator exercise. That's where you can like super like build up muscle. Me, I needed to stay in shape so I could do, I had to be able to do 1.5 miles in like 20 minutes. That was part of the, I think that's what it was. And then I had to be able to do a certain amount of sit-ups and push-ups and, crunches and stuff like that. So like when I wasn't doing anything, I would do crunches while I was watching TV or something like that. Like when I'm idle doing something, like, yeah, pretty much like watching a movie or something like that. I would just sit down and do crunches. It's like, I'm not doing nothing, I may as well do a crunch. I probably could have lost more weight if I wasn't drinking alcohol. So like, just gotta stay away from the sweets. That's my vice. So, or choose healthier snacks. And that's one of the things I definitely had to do. I think for a while when I found out that I was diabetic, I was more banana than woman. I ate so many bananas. And then I rediscovered oranges. I hadn't eaten an orange in years. I would always just drink the orange juice because that's what I wanted, was orange juice. And finally I'm like, damn it, I want orange juice, but I can't drink it because of my diabetes. It gives too much sugar too fast. Well, I'm not sure how long it had been since you were that skinny. But as you get older, your metabolism changes. I don't know. Just be careful. Do you have a gym membership? Because I had fun when I went to the gym because it felt like I was going out for PE. You know what I'm saying? It was, I was getting blood and I was getting oxygen into me. I was tired as hell, but that's because I was diabetic, and I didn't know it. He's not looking like my character. It's just the angle, I think, that I'm worried about here. Let's see. Maybe the eyes are too far apart. And then eat it. Eat the good stuff. I like spinach. Spinach is I like spinach. I like cabbage. I like Chinese food. I don't like watermelon. I don't like melons. My mom always used to buy. She always used to buy cantaloupe. I'm like, you're the only one that's gonna eat this. And that's probably why she bought it. Yeah, because there's sometimes gyms have the trainers. So like if you can get some, hit up a trainer and hit up the YouTube channels that have the healthy, lifestyle, whatever's. There was one guy that I was drawing. I was going to do a comic with him, but he was just like, he was all about like contracts and stuff, and I'm like, or protecting whatever it was that he was doing. He was just so scared of losing control over something that wasn't even created yet. Just it never got off the ground. So, but he has a YouTube channel. I'm trying to remember what his name was. And I was drawn to him because he had a good shape. And I asked him one day on Facebook if I could draw him. And, because he kind of had the body of a superhero. I mean, he's tall, he was relatively good looking, and, I started, to try to draw for him, and, I don't know if he had the story together or anything, but he was so scared of losing his rights or whatever. I never got the whole story. I'm like, I can't keep and the best I could do was like draw the character almost half naked because he didn't give me any kind of description. I was like, God damn, man, it's too protective. I'm like, this is not for me. I can't help you. We can't help each other. I think he thought he had the next Batman. But anyway, and if he did, yeah, good for him. But nobody will ever see it because he's too much of a, too protective. I want to bring these down, but I don't want to bring them down. So I think I'll just move them up. And then I'll merge this one. Okay, there we go. Just trying to give him... Gosh, he looks like he's all wide awake now. His buddies there. Let's see. But yeah, exercising a couple times a day. If you're trying to build up the muscle type of stuff, I'm sure there's ways of doing that. You can do safely and healthy. The other guy the reason why I brought him up was he was a bodybuilder, and guys like him, they compete, but they do extreme shit. They do like they drink those powdered drinks. They're all about the what is it called? Those diets where they would like not drink water or something like that to starve their muscles, so that right when they get to competition, there's stuff like pops out. I'm like, ooh. Stuff was way too extreme, but I guess he might have won a couple competitions. Let me see if I can. Treadmill's good. Probably lean muscle, like in your legs and stuff. If you get a job like working FedEx, where you're constantly on the move, that'll help you lose weight and gain leg muscle. It just depends on what kind of muscle you're trying to gain. If you're trying to gain like the Arnold Schwarzenegger type muscle, then you're going to have to work out with weights, and you're going to have to gear your muscles and stuff like that, or your diet towards that sort of thing, like proteins. If you're just trying to lose a few pounds and stuff like that, you know, you can do the weights and stuff like that too. It's just to give you that lean muscle. You're not building up the gigantic muscle. You just got to do your own research. Stop asking me. I don't know. Like I said, I'm fat. But the things that seem to be working for me, keeping myself down from, like right now, I'm at 280. No, 228. Yeah, I'm at 228. But I used to be at 240, 245, and that was just, I weighed myself buck ass naked. But yeah, so I lost 20 pounds, but I'm probably gonna gain it all back because I was riding my bike every day to get to work. I'd have to take 2 buses and a bike, but also now I'm more aware that I'm diabetic and I can't, you know, eat the same shit that I used to, and in the same quantities that I used to. But on the weekends I'm in danger because, you know, just want to keep going into the fridge and seeing what's in there. Same shit that was in there yesterday again. This is not looking like him. Oh well. I'm gonna spend like 3 hours trying to get this guy look like. I'm trying. Get his hair. Maybe his forehead's too big. Let's see. Whoops. No worries. You gonna go dance? Sweet. Sweat it, baby. Sweat it. And thanks for popping in. I hope you reach your goals. You gotta want to. You gotta want it. Do you want it? Do you want it? Okay, let's give him. There we go. Now we're gonna make you look like you. Let's see. Maybe it's his mouth. Let's see if I can find a better mouth for him. think his eyes might be too far away. Maybe the chin. Maybe it's his chin. Yeah, his eyes are too open, I think. That could be part of it too. And again, he is kind of looking upwards. Ooh, this music is putting me to sleep. Let's see, I don't want any easygoing crap. Happy, restless. Let's see, I don't want laid back. Let me see if I can find something that's a little bit more energetic. That is just not looking like my boy. Let me see if I've got... Let me dip into my stash here. Even this one right here looks more like him. What am I doing different? Maybe his face looks too wide. Maybe that's the problem. Okay, let me go back. Yeah, the shape of the eyes. There we go. That eye is like wicked huge. Giving the Marilyn Manson eyes. Alright, now it's looking a little bit more like him. Just a little. Just a little. Alrighty, oops. Do 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 do. Excuse me. Alrighty, we'll move on. I think I'll have to set myself up with a time goal. So I think that's part of the reason why I'm so far behind is I need to say work on these guys for a few minutes and then move on. If it's not perfect, then oh well. I'll come back to it later if I've got time. Let's see. I could probably spend all day messing with this guy. I think I'm trying to draw his head straight when it should be tilted upwards. Oh, that's probably what the problem is. I'll have to come back to it with fresh eyes. Okay. Yeah, that's what my problem is. I'm trying to draw him straight when it should be tilted upwards. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Okay. I gotta learn to not leave these marks on my stuff here. See what's going to work on these fingers. Found a better picture. Let's see. Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna close his eyes just a bit more. Let me tweak a few things. Let's see. I'm gonna bring that up a little bit. Whoops. Now my goal for this is to be done with chapter 2 this weekend and on to chapter 3. Erase this. Smooth out some of these jagged lines and then kind of blending it into the rest here. And then to give it just a little bit more definition, I think I'll put it like a little bit of white here. And then just kind of blend it. And take some of this dark tones and work with them here. Okay, good enough for government work. And texture. And then he's got this Argyle sweater on. There we go. And then we'll have a little bit more of the ostrich showing. We'll give it about that much. We'll give our boy a little bit of girth. Ooh. Let's see. Alright, so yeah, last night I was like just zooming. I'm like, oh wow, I was giving myself hope. I'll be able to see the end of this. See. Oops. Just want him to appear a little bit more. I've drawn him so lightly. Okay, good enough for government work. Now that looks a little bit more like him. And we'll just give this guy some texture here. I wonder. What I'm looking for right now is like picture of that I can have as a repeating pattern. That way I can fill in right here. This is kind of cute. Let's see about this one. Okay. Let's see. Which one do I have up? Let's see. We'll use this one. And it is the more characters. That should appear right there. Let's see, I need to cut it. Shoot. Alright, let's fix it. There we go. Now I want to create a repeating pattern. Let's see, we want to put it in textures. Import. Oops, no. Let's give it a name. Balls. Okay, and then we'll move this out the way. Grain source. Paste. Auto repeats. And let's see. Ooh, I like that. Where it's just like overlapping. We'll mask it. Let's see. Trying to get that 6 to pop in. We'll just do it like this, kind of, sort of. Let's see. Just want a nice little repeating pattern on the shirt. Let's see, if I keep the green the same, overlap the border, have it mirror, we'll leave it like that. We'll go done, and then let's see, can I okay, and then source library, and then soft, and then done. And then, let's see, done. If I scatter it, that doesn't suck too bad. Let's see, rotate. That makes it too dark. Randomize. Let's see what that does for us. I almost like this jacket, or shirt, whatever it is. Almost. Okay. All right, good enough for government work. All right. Oof. Let's see if we can finish this one. La, 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 la. We need to select let's see, I need a skin tone. Let's see, Let me get a little darker for him. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Put that right here. See, too dark. There we go. I wonder if I can make it lighter. There we go. That's a little lighter. Okay. And then we'll do another. Okay, I want to get these text boxes in here. And again, I have that same problem with the placement. There we go. We'll just move that on up. Oh, I guess it won't. Okay. Oh, that was cute. Okay, and then I didn't want that there. There we go. And then we'll duplicate this. And we'll grab this color. Zoom. Oops, wrong place. There we go. And we'll do freeform. We'll put that there. And then we'll put that there. We'll put these guys above it. Alright. So let's throw the text on there so I can get rid of all this other crap on here. So yeah, that's why I'm drinking. Yeah, I'm sure this gets like wicked boring to look at. But yeah, let me see if there's anything I can contribute to this. Some of the things that I've picked up from doing, working on my own comic, and things that I'd like to change. So if there was one thing I would want to change, if I had the power to do so, I would want, try to figure out what's going on with this text box here. Hold up. Okay, that's the beast I need. There we go. Alright, is to be able to see my stuff side by side. Like, so have maybe 2 of these open side by side. That would be freaking fabulous. That way, if I need to, I can grab colors, or even be able to put the ability to put something on the outside here and still see it for myself. Like say I needed something off to the side because maybe I want to do another layer or another page, and I want to save it to put it in lore or later or something like that. It'd be nice to be able to use this gray space. But we all have to have borders sometime. Not necessarily for going into, you know, but it's nice to have that. I'd like Procreate to become like, what is that called? Clip Studio Paint, where you can bring in 3D stuff. That would be cool too, because I suck with buildings, and I don't want to buy Clip Studio if I'm getting really good at this one. Let's see. I don't know if it's brand loyalty or, maybe it's just convenience. Maybe I'm just lazy. I don't know. Okay, so yeah. Oops. Now I want to do this one line that I love saying. Let's see. Okay, so let me pull it out here. And we'll make this blue. Oops. It'd be cool if it would wrap around the head too, but it doesn't. And it's big enough to read, I think. give it, there we go. And then I need to okay. And I'll move my boy over here a little bit more to give us more space. Wonder if that'll capture everything. No. Let me reset. Okay. Freehand. Give him a little bit more space. Either that or make him bigger. Yeah, we'll make him bigger. And just for giggles, we'll make the other guy bigger too. Well, this gives us more space. I don't mind breaking borders. Okay. I don't know what's up with this text box. Probably when I resized. But I gotta figure out what layer this is. Where is that nonsense? Here it is. Oops. There we go. Okay. La 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 da 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 da. Okay, so not that one. Text. Okay. So that gives me a chance to make that bigger. Okay, let me see if it'll let me edit that. Okay, so so you're gonna be a dad. Oops, wrong text. Edit style. That's right. It's right above it. Oh, there's nothing there. Oh, wonderful. Alright. Let's see. There we go. That was nice. Okay, let's try something else. We'll browse for some new music. Let's see. Something that's bumping. Have a little rock. Okay, so for those of you who are just joining, hi, I'm Kim Pinkney. Welcome to my channel. I am working on a web comic called Nocturnal Emissions, and the main character came out to go find another chick to sleep with, basically. Not necessarily to have sex, that's a given sometimes. But just to have a snuggle partner or somebody, whatever excuse that he can use to get someone to come home with him. And let's see, we'll have a little metal playing. Yeah, I need the energy. And pretty much so you can get a good night's sleep. Yeah, so goddamn, what layer am I on? Merge that down so I have plenty of layers to play with. Merge down because I gotta do their skin tone and all that stuff. And I can clear this one finally. And you might be able to see where I have. Let's see if this works. I'm going to do a quick replay while I go to the restroom real quick. And you guys will be able to see how I got to where I got. Play. Are you gonna play? Sweet. Okay, so you'll see like from thumbnail on what I've got on this layer. I might have decided to do something else with this layer. I don't know. It looks like I've changed this layer into something completely different. Yep. Let's see. So this was what I had before. One of the lounge lizard ladies that are in the background. And we probably just recycled this particular page. Let me see. Let me move the time up a little bit. There we go. And then I took these and decided to duplicate the layers. So I probably got different things on here. Yeah, I guess this can't hurt. Alright, so he's just discovered that his best friend is here, and they're going to kind of meet up and talk. And this is what I'm going to need to segue into the next chapter, and also kind of gives people an idea of what this guy's mindset is and where he's seeing himself now. Okay, so I'll be right back. Alright, so let's get to where I am currently. Now, I was going to keep this, but then when I looked at the hands, it just didn't look right. So I decided to take that one out. Now, when I made my script for this, none of this stuff was in here. It was just basically he meets up with a friend. Friend tells him to go to the E-Club, and bits and pieces. Yeah, my story is pretty bare bones. It didn't have like, okay, Derek is holding up 2 fingers to tell the bartender to get him 2 drinks, and Bryce is mentioning baby. I didn't have that in there. But it also, it kind of is a nod to what's going to be happening in the future. So it's like a foreshadowing almost. I'm thinking about giving that. Yeah, I don't have anybody in here with tattoos, so I think it might be a cool idea to throw a tattoo on the bartender, but I think the 8-ball fuzzball hair is enough. Okay. So that's where we are so far. And I'm just going to finish up the bottom panel, and let's see if I can finish that in the next 30 minutes. It's kind of funny that it's like I'm drawing portraits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 a whole bunch of times, over and over again. But to save myself time, I created a whole nother area where if I like how the face turned out, I can just copy it and then stick it in like a character type sheet for this particular person. So I can recycle if I happen to have the same expression or a similar expression. Okay, so here's where we are. Yeah, for the next comic that I do, I'm definitely going to do the same thing where I have a series of faces and expressions, and then I can toss them on as I need to. Okay. Now the brush that I pretty much use for everything is this soft brush, and it kind of gives this nice, to me it gives a really nice texture, not texture but tone. And then I'll use black and white, but also shades of flesh tone, things like in here, things like that. I can use any of that, or if I wanted to, I could do it all in color and just knock it into black and white. And that's like when I have like the trying to distinguish hues and stuff like that. Now for this guy, he is very fair skinned, so his tones aren't going to get too dark. I'll adjust here on the brush opacity on how dark I need it to get, and then I'll just adjust my brush sizes as I need to right here. So like if I like this brush because I'm getting really thin, and I can get, when I'm on the right layer, there we go, and I can get up in there. Let me bring this up a bit. Let me give them a little darker tone. He's not looking forward to being a dad. This is the fear of the unknown type of thing. Bring it to black. And then I also like using the fine hairbrush when I'm doing eyebrows, when I'm doing their hair. This is one of those brushes that if you flick it in a different direction, it'll follow your strokes. I like that. I'll bring this down, so like when I'm doing the skin tones, and then I like to use a smudge brush. blend it in. And just kind of, if I have it like really dark in certain spots, I just kind of move it over into spots where I need it. So sometimes I'll just do a slash like this, and then let my smudge brush do the rest of the work. And so that it's not all the same tone, just add maybe a little bit of white. And then let my smudge brush kind of diffuse that out a little bit. I'll throw a little bit on his nose here. A little bit in his eyes here. Alrighty. And I start off the image with a tone, a base tone, and then I just build off of that. So that their skin isn't like pure white. It's like once you go white, it's like you have no place to go from there. To soften up my lines, use the soft brush, go into some of the highlights there. And I'll just keep going around doing different judgment tones here. And sometimes I bring this down even further so I can control it a little bit better. And what I mean by that is like it'll go down on as one color, and then I can, if the more I tap, the more that color will get darker and darker. So it's like you start off with a lighter tone, and then the more you tap it, it just gets darker and darker to the point it gets to black. Right now I'm just drawing in my highlights. Sometimes I start with the highlight because when I'm drawing with a pencil, because it's easier to go from light, like a light color, to a dark color than it is to go from a dark color to a light color. But now I'm drawing digital. It doesn't freaking matter. Because I can make another layer and I can throw my lights on there. No problem. Bring this down some. Bring it down a lot. Now, if you have a hard time drawing in black and white, go ahead and draw in color. You can always knock it to black and white. And then you should still have like the changes in tone. Now, I'm constantly looking at what I've got here, going what's darker than what? What's darker than this? What's darker than that? And then adjusting from there. So like on his forehead, I'm looking at any place that's lit up with light. If it's white, then the light is hitting it like super hard. Like right here. It's not hitting as hard right here, but it is hitting it here. And anywhere that it's curving, it's getting darker. But how dark is it? Is it as dark as where his eyes are right here? Is it as dark as this? Or is it in between? So I'm constantly trying to make those judgment calls. Is this darker than that? If it is, then lay it in there. But and then you got to keep in mind that wherever you see a dark tone, like right here, there's going to be a corresponding light somewhere on the opposite of that. So like I've got a dark line right here, a dark furrow in his brow. I'm going to have a light right here. I've got the dark furrow here. There should be a light tone somewhere. And that's right here. Yeah, he's super worried. So he's got like a little dark patches here. You just gotta fill that in with a little bit of light. Okay, I got 20 minutes. Alright. Move a little faster. This is a little darker here than, let's see, this is darker than this. I'm going to bring this over, and then I'm going to make this part a little lighter. I need this tone. And use a little bit of white, just a little, like right here, just to lighten this up. Whoops. And if it's dark right here, there's going to be a corresponding light on the opposite side. And that's like right here. When it's dark, like where I'm shading right now, there'll be a corresponding light right above that. Make sure it's a little bigger. Like right here, it's a little lighter. And I'm just going to keep working it until I get to the light, this tone that I needed. Or bring this up a little bit. And then I'm just going to kind of blend. So you can't tell where it begins and where it ends. And if you don't want to smudge it too badly, you just want to bring it or smudge down. If you want to smudge it a lot, you just bring it up. So like say you had a pattern, but you just needed like a gentle smudge, you want to bring that brush opacity down for that smudge. And you'll be able to keep your pattern, but you'll also be able to smudge it. You obliterate it the higher you go, the higher up you go. Or consider, yeah, that's the higher up, and this is low. So high, low. Just remember to zoom out every now and then too. If you're having a hard time getting something, step away from it for a while and move on to another part of the face. And then with fresh eyes, come back to what you were looking at and see if you can see, what's different between you and your source image. But if you don't have a source image, just always remember that when you have like a line or a crease, that is a shadow that was caused by a shape. And because that has a shadow on that shape, there's going to be a highlight of some sort somewhere nearby where light is hitting it to cause that shadow. So for in this case, it'll be right down here in this area. So I'm going to put a little bit, just a little brighter right here. Give that a little bit. Okay, I need a harder white light. Probably not that hard, but I'll make all the highlights a little bit brighter. And then I'm going to smudge it a little bit so because the light's not hitting it that hard. And then because there's the highlight, there's got to be a corresponding dark. So like, you also need to decide what side is going to get that shadow. Especially when it comes to the nose. And this is one of the ways to make your lines disappear. And you have to decide on what side of the line is darkest. Is it the skin that's going to be darkest, or is it going to be the background that's going to be darkest? In this case, it's going to be the skin. So I'm blending this, all the tones inward like that. So not only does that smooth out the outline without having to throw an outline there, I'm going to do something similar to this. The shadow is like right here. So I'm going to smooth it downwards towards the front of his face. I've got a few minutes left. Same thing with his neck. I gotta figure out what's lighter, what's darker. The edge of his neck is catching a lot of light, so I'm gonna make this white. And I'm gonna smooth that white inwards. And that gives more of a contour to his neck. And then you just kind of see what's got what values. And you can even sample and move that tone around. If you see this tone here, I want to use it like in this area, and in this area. But not that much. Bring that down. I'm just going to smear it. You'll sometimes have to come back to some areas and darken them back up. This is the equivalent of smudging with your finger. It's like I do this with charcoal. I don't like using my finger with charcoal because, because I'm messy. But also, ooh, look at that. He's got like a lot, he looks dark. Looks like he's in blackface. But that's the differences in tones. Now, if you find that you're that bad off, you can always come here and you can either brighten it up, take the saturation down more, or up. Or you can just come back to your art and kind of adjust it a little bit better. It's pretty interesting. One of the things I like to do is if I get too dark, you can always take your eraser, bring it all the way down to like maybe 12, and you want to take some of that dark away. Especially when I didn't mean it to be that dark. I'm just going to work it in. It'll take away some of it, or you can take away all of it if you bring it back up. Or you can use your smudge tool, and you can, if you have it up high, you can smudge that a little bit more. You can bring white in and then kind of overlap it. Oops, thought that was white. There we go. and then just kind of soften it. And if you need like a different tone in there, you can always pick a different type of gray in a different spectrum. So you can use like the blue spectrum, like going into here for your grays. So this gray is right here. It gives it a subtle change. And if you bring it up a little higher, you can manipulate your gray a little bit more. So I want more of like a reddish type of gray for his lips. It's very, very subtle. Okay, so I'm going to be going. You guys, thank you so much for popping in. Tatted Hearts, I hope you figure it out. And, wow, Lovely T's got a lot of talking to do. And she's got a lot of thoughts, okay, so you guys have a great one. Stay safe. And be sure to check out my comic. Leave me a comment. Every interaction brings us closer to the goal of winning and cheers me on. I really appreciate it. If you've learned anything from my mistakes that I've made, and if you've caught any of my live streams before, you've definitely seen some mistakes. Oh my gosh. But, you know, you take them in stride and you use that as a setup for a comeback. That's all a setback is. Set up for a comeback. And definitely came back on a couple of these that I thought I'd lost forever. And they only got better when I redid it. I pissed and moaned, but, you know, once I stopped pissing and moaning, I decided to take things into maybe a different direction. Thought about it in the sense that maybe it wasn't meant to be like this. And how can I make it better? You know, type of thing. Not recreate it, but how do I make it better? And because I had done that, I had learned how to do more patterns, more textures. Things like that. Alrighty, you guys, I am out. And be sure to check out my comic. It's not the best. The first chapter kind of sucks a little bit, but hopefully at this point it'll get a lot better. Again, thank you guys so much for coming, and I will see you in the next video. Ta-ta, ta-ta, ta-ta. Have a great one. If you like what you see, like and subscribe, and leave me a comment. I love that stuff. Have a great one, you guys. Bye-bye.